There are some positives, to what we're doing, but it's those little negative things that are just holding us back. Little mistakes, some mental assignments, obviously the turnovers, things of that nature, that are just keeping us from, I think, being a much better football team right now, and so they're disappointed, but they are excited about, there's 11 games left, and obviously, we just gotta focus on one at a time and prepare this week. But the guys are in a good mood today.
Hi, Coach. I know you addressed Andre Cisco's comments earlier in the week about you felt they might have been a little bit quick on the team. I was wondering if you felt like that was something you spoke about as a team since then, and in some ways, is that almost a reassurance that a guy hurting like that shows how much his team care about what's happening on the weekend? Yeah,
Andre is obviously a really good leader on our football team, and look, sometimes, and I'm guilty of this too. Sometimes, you say stuff out of just emotion, right? And it's hard to not say something, right? But again, I go back to what I said the other day. I just don't think he meant anything, demeaning by it. He's not pointing the finger at anybody, because he's in that boat as well, just like we all are. So I get the emotional side of it, but at the same time, I think we got to continue to, just press forward, and he obviously will learn from this, and his teammates will rally around him. They're not looking at him any different. They want him to perform and play, and that's what he'll do.
Did you speak to him about it?
I have not, and quite frankly, sometimes I don't feel like I need to in those situations. I just think the team and just give him a couple of days to process, and he was much better again today.
Doug, on Monday morning, Mike McCarthy talked about relishing the challenge of turning the Cowboys season around after their tough loss on Sunday night. Are you there? I mean, do you understand what he's talking about? Are you at that point where you're up for that?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, look, we're 1-5. We are where we are. We've, as they say, if you make your bed, you gotta lie in it, right? And so that's where we're at. And it's a great opportunity for us to really turn this thing, and again, you just want to go out and play good football, and fight and scratch and claw and win a game, right? And try to get things going in the right direction. So I understand, where he's at, and obviously where we are, and that's why I feel like even today the guy is being in a good spot and emotionally ready for another opportunity.
Doug, what's your first impression of Drake May, seeing him in one game now?
I went back and watched him again this morning. There's some really good things on tape, and look, he's a young player, understandable. He's gonna take what he did last week, and he's gonna improve. He's gonna improve, and I think you're gonna see, a different quarterback on Sunday, quite frankly. He's got a big arm. He's a smart kid. He's athletic. He's tough. He took some shots in that game against Houston the other day and came back. And it's just gonna look. I've been there with young quarterbacks, and you just gotta fight through it, and you gotta keep working. And there's some good things there. And he'll learn from last week and be much better in the future.
Coach, I want to take you back to a happy memory against these Patriots back in 2018 when you won the Super Bowl. With your team here at 1-5, how do you take what you've learned pushing your team in a Super Bowl to win a match and use it with your Jaguars to push them to win a game like this when your team's under duress and really needs a victory to keep that team season alive?
Yeah, I lean back on and think back on moments like that, in obviously different situations. This is not the Super Bowl, but it's still the New England Patriots, and it's still a good football team, and they're well coached, and you see all the same things back in this team that I saw back in 18 going against them back then with Coach Belichick team, and it's it's the opportunity that's in front of us, that is presented to us, and making the most of the opportunity, right? Just like it was in 18, our team made the most of that opportunity back then, and the same thing today. I mean, you got to make the most of your opportunity. You get chances to play, you play, and you play well, and it's about doing your job. And I think those are the parallels that I can take from then and now, and really apply them to today.
Doug, do you think you have to have an identity to win in this league, or do you win and then an identity gets formed?
Yes, because I think if you lose, that's also an identity. If you win, that's an identity. So internally, we talk about our own identity, but I think on the outside, the public, through the media, shapes and forms who they think our identity is. But I think that comes through wins and losses. So it's kind of a yes question. I mean, I think both sides of it can shape an identity. But for me right now, where this team is, if we go out and play well and do what we're asked to do, we can work on that and build on that, and then begin creating internally, I think, our own identity as we approach each game moving forward.
So outside the walls, then, to that point, what are you trying to be and preach? Just those simple, whether it's 3 things or 4 things, the tenets that you're trying to push.
Well, number one, I think one of the things we need to be is a smarter football team, right? As far as just eliminating some of the mental errors, some of the mental mistakes. It could be penalties in a game, it could be mental errors, and things are going to happen. Don't get me wrong. And football is football. You're going to get beat from time to time, but don't beat yourself, right? And so be a smarter football team. I think the other one is you want to be physical. I think it's mental and physical toughness. I think it's a mental grind. It's a mental toughness to play in the National Football League. You know, each week these players go through a lot. They put their bodies through a lot, and they're sore. You know, and they're hurting. And so being a more physical, mental, and physical, you know, from the standpoint of being a physical, on the field football team. And then I think the third thing is just, you know, I think about our conditioning as a team. I think being a well-conditioned team, that's as the season goes, and this is not really related to X and O's as much as it is just your physical body, right? Just stay in the weight room, stay up on your conditioning, don't let your weight get out of hand, things of that nature, right, as the season goes on. And if you can control those 3 things, but I think being a smarter football team really makes a difference in the success that you have, you know, on the field.
Coach, with some injury returns, are you anticipating some changes defensively?
Yeah, well, so we're going to take a look at some things this week. You know, Tyson Campbell, obviously, potentially, you know, this week. So we'll see how he does in practice and make a decision later in the week. But you know, that changes some things and just adds another body. You know, another really good corner that can just help us. So we'll see where he's at, and then I don't want to get into a whole lot of specifics when it comes to personnel because I don't want to tip our hand on things, but it gives us some more flexibility to move some guys around and see where they can play.
Coach, speaking on that, the defense, you're coming up against one of the teams that has not scored over 25 points this season. You guys have given up 30 points in your last 2 games. How important is it that your defense can shut down a New England Patriots offense that hasn't got going this season yet?
Well, it's important, and I think it's as important too. I mean, I think we're scoring 18 or 19 points offensively, so, you know, they're looking at it the same way. You know, if we can keep them, you know, under 20, first one to 20 might win the game, right? I mean, that's the reality of it. So it is important defensively to go out and play well and try to, you know, minimize the scoring. And then offensively, that's our goal, right? Our goal is to score. So it's kind of a 2-headed monster, but you know, we're up for the challenge.
Hey, Doug, why now for the Roy Robertson Harris trade, and who's ready to step in and take those reps?
Well, listen, first of all, let me just say, you know, I appreciate everything Roy has done for me and this team for the last, you know, 3 years that I've been here. And as you guys know too, we were heavy at DT, and it just, the opportunity presented itself. You know, this time of year, team needs around the league too. Injuries play a big part of things, and you know, it was an opportunity for him, and obviously, you know, for us to get something for it, and he's been a big part of that defense. I wish him well, but you know, it's good for him.
Do you have any concern that you start losing some guys in the next couple of weeks based on those same sentiments in your record?
I mean, you're always open to conversations and phone calls, but I don't anticipate anything like that.
Can you shed any light on the Gibson situation? It was expected that he could maybe get reinstated.
It's a league thing. Honestly, he's still on the commissioner's suspended list, so we're waiting on the league.
Could that still happen before Sunday?
Maybe. I really don't know where that is right now. I just know that's
okay.
The last correspondence I was given.
What's your comfort level with Mason and Jordan Jefferson filling in? I mean, how do you see the tackle rotation without Roy?
Yeah, I mean, look, it definitely gives them opportunity, right? And you know, we're excited about both players. I think both of them are learning the game, right? Learning how to play in the NFL. And so it's a great opportunity for both of them. I thought Jordan did some good things Sunday. You know, it showed some power, some strength. And then Mason's continuing to grow. He's a good athlete. He's a big physical guy. He's long. Just got to continue to work with both of them. So I think it's for both of these two players, young players, both guys we drafted. I think it's a great opportunity for them to really step up and take ownership in their responsibilities.
Are there other young guys that you're trying to get into the lineup here at 1-5? Younger players who are earning a ton?
Not necessarily. Look, we've got some young players on the roster who've played. You know, I think of another one. You know, Keelan Robinson's been sitting there, right? I mean, Dewey's sitting there. Foyer's, you know, so we've got players there. We just got to get them healthy and see what they can do moving forward.
Coach, a lot of local interest in Lewis Rees-Zammit. What does he need to do to get into a game this year, and what have you seen from him in terms of progress? So
yeah, big day for him yesterday. Excited for him and what he was able to do and the people he met. And, you know, for us, it's just, you know, being on a practice squad, you never know. You're a player or two away from being you know, elevated to the roster. So just continue to work and embrace his role. We love his skill set, his talent, his speed, his physicality. He's got great size, you know, and just learn. Just continue to learn and you know, just be patient. Opportunity will come.